Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News. The Omega bracket in Sao Paulo is just about to begin. 3 massive games today and so much preparation going in for many of these teams going into the tournament. s0m though from NRG reveals the best team right now in the entire world, in his opinion in practice, might well be Leviatan. Not one of the favourites on paper here in Group Omega, but certainly one of the teams that could go all the way. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. 2 big updates. Firstly, from Turtle Troop, they've now confirmed they've got 2 new players in. Of course, they dropped Harmful, they dropped Okonos in a kind of surprising turn of events. They've already made 2 changes. Now, Tig is going to come in, and so is Mame. Tig, I do really like this player. Mame, I'm not so sure this is going to be the way to... I think Tig can be an upgrade to the team. Is Mame the way to go? Not so sure. I guess we'll see. I thought maybe they were going to get some options here with a bit more, well, maybe not experience, because these guys are both experienced, but I don't know. I thought maybe it was going to be a more blockbuster change maybe than what they've managed to make here, with some big name agents and big name players right out there in the free agency market that failed to qualify for tier 2. But yeah, so already they're making changes. These are the 2 changes. We'll see if it works out when Challengers re-begins after the tournament in Sao Paulo has concluded. Jeff Lundert from Riot also confirms that the 3rd agent for this year is not going to have a new role. So you know, there was kind of some rumors about this, just because the the initiator and the sentinel roles are going to get 1 new agent each this year, and then the 3rd agent that comes through, it's kind of unclear what role they're going to inhabit. Maybe a duelist. I think that's probably sensible, because the last one we got was a controller in Harbour. But there were some rumors. Okay, are they going to bring in a new role? Are they going to come up with an entirely new concept for how agents can behave? But apparently that's not going to be the case. So we're going to keep initiator, sentinel, controller, and duelist for the time being. Let's talk 100 Thieves then, or 100 Weaves as they go by currently here. Great video just to well, get them ready to go here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. 100 Thieves do have probably one of the easier brackets they are going to be able to come up with here going into this big tournament. They play Edward Gaming round 1. If they win that, they have another winnable series, and then they will play either probably Fnatic or Sentinels or one of those teams. We'll see how the bracket plays out here in a second. Will 100 Thieves make it through though? Because certainly from some people's perspectives, this is EMEA's side of the bracket, right? Group A, of course, one team that made it through was from the Pacific region, right, in DRX, and the other team that made it through was from South America, or the Americas, in Loud, right, from Brazil, of course. They took down NRG in that crazy decider match, and the press conferences were going down yesterday, and many were giving their thoughts on who the favorites should be over here in Group Omega. So we have one Brazilian team, or, you know, one from the Americas, but really South America, right, and then one from the Pacific region. What's going to happen over there in Group Omega? Is there going to be a North American team that makes it through because there are 2 good candidates, or is it going to be EMEA's group here? And I think many are expecting EMEA to dominate this group and get both of their players through, or both of their teams through. That is not necessarily going to be the case though. So some talk in the press conferences. Firstly, Angel has gone on his full EG Ethan vibes and is talking about the fact that EMEA are basically just going to destroy everyone. So as he says, I feel like us, that of course being Na'Vi, the same team that FPX had last year, but no Ardis, of course, and now they've got cNed instead. He reckons, yeah, they, Liquid, and Fnatic are the strongest rosters on paper. Angel said in the press conference, unfortunately, we've all been drawn into the same bracket, so we can't see a European final, but who knows how it's going to go. Single in bracket, 32 teams, new meta, new maps, new agents. Going to be a bit random, but I feel like it should be a European team winning this part of the bracket. So basically the way this works is you get, well, both sides of the bracket, we'll see in a second. There are 8 teams on each side of the bracket. One team of those 8 qualifies through to the main bracket, so 2 teams from Group Omega get through. However, if both of those teams are European teams, which they could be, I believe they will play each other at some point, so a European final is unlikely. But yeah, still, Angel believes that himself and the Na'Vi guys, Fnatic and Liquid, are the teams to beat in this group, and he's certainly going all in on the European side and not giving too much credit to the North American region or even the Pacific region, which there are still some interesting candidates. Psycho, of course, of Sentinels also gave his thoughts on this. I don't think any of us feel the pressure here. We're just focused on qualifying for Masters Tokyo and winning the Champions event. This is just one step along that process, and I think this is kind of an interesting way to look at this tournament, because many would like to win this tourney, and of course, if an Americas team wins, such as Loud, then the entire Americas region gets 1 extra slot for Masters qualification, which is quite a big deal in terms of qualifying for Masters. To be a top 3 team in North America is tough. To be a top 3 team in the Americas is tough. To be a top 4 team, that is probably more achievable, and that will happen if one of the Americas teams, such as either Loud that got through, or a Leviathan, or a Sen, or 100 Thieves win this entire tourney, then, you know, they will get the extra spot. So I think there is some importance in trying to do well here, but I guess they're more focused on going forwards and trying to just get good practice in what is a pretty weird tournament environment. Now, this from s0m as well. I've got to mention this. He gets back from of course, Sao Paulo, Brazil, gets back to wherever they're based, probably out in LA, and discusses what he felt during the tournament. Saying that while Loud were the best team they played in an actual game, the best team by a margin they played in practice was Leviatan. And I've mentioned this Leviatan team for some time now as being a team to watch out for here, because I do think they're better than people give them credit for. And just because, you know, they're obviously a South American team, but they're not Loud, they don't quite get the credit maybe they deserve. The organization was good at the end of last year, and with the team they've currently got, they're, you know, still very good indeed. And s0m reckons that he believes they were by a margin the best team they played in practice, and he wouldn't be at all surprised if they won the entire event.
Was Loud the toughest opponent you've ever had so far? In matches, yeah. I think I think if I include scrims, Leviathan are probably the hardest team I've ever scrimmed or played against.
Nice.
Yeah, Leviathan are really good. I will not be shocked at all if they literally win the whole thing. Like, actually.
Bet.
Sorry, what am I doing?
Making troll, getting ropes.
You scrim Paper X, yeah. Scrimbucks? Well, usually you can tell when a team is like scrimmers. Leviathan are not scrimmers. Leviathan play every scrim.
And I'll say that almost every training here in Brazil, we had a really good scores against a lot of NA teams. Yeah, I think it's something like that, and I'm really happy to hear that also from you.
Just didn't practice.
Thanks for the answer, man. Wow, dude, bro. That's the Scrimbucks line of the year.
Yeah, thank you.
They're just
mi pregunta
trashing
es para
teams in
Mensa.
scrims,
Y,
and
bueno,
he's saying it.
So what do you guys think about that from s0m, right? How good can Leviathan be in this group? Because there are some big name teams in here. You've got two of North America's best. ShahZaM said the other day, Sentinels, 100 Thieves. They are, in his opinion, the best two teams in North America from what he's played in practice. You've then got the European powerhouses, Fnatic here with Boaster, of course, Liquid and Na'Vi. And then to round out the group, you've still got teams like Leviathan in there. You've got Global Esports in there as well. I know a lot of you guys are from India and excited to see how Global Esports get on. Hopefully they do well. And, you know, that's a team that's been creating a lot of, impact over the last couple of months. We even saw yesterday as well, just related to the Indian scene, that Eccles is joining, as I think Doma did the other time, right, from Fnatic a couple of weeks ago. Doma joins official VLT or Velocity Gaming, an Indian team. Eccles is doing the same thing. Briefly, of course, of the 100 Thieves team at the start of 2022, but he's going to be the IGL for this team. Exciting prospect there as well. So hopefully it goes well for all involved in that. But let's dive into then what these matches are going to be, what's happening today, and what might be the case over the coming days. Sentinels talking trash on Fnatic already. Maybe Fnatic will win a map this time, because I guess last time they played, that wasn't the case. And yeah, Sentinels foreshadowing the fact that they probably will win a map. Maybe they'll win 2 maps, which of course is not what Sentinels fans want to imagine being the case. This then is the group as Riot want us to see it. I think it's kind of ugly looking at it this way, so we'll look at it from the normal bracket perspective in a second. But of course, yeah, in general, you've got teams from the Americas playing teams from other regions. But this time there is a large cohort of European representatives, with also one Chinese team in Edward Gaming that plays 100 Thieves in the first round. So there's kind of different quarters here of the pie, let's say. And one team will get out of each selection before then the final qualification matches to go into the next step of the tournament, where 2 teams only are there so far from Group Alpha. So this is the bracket to feast your eyes on. It's honestly so stacked, this group. Liquid Secret is the first game of the tournament. That's a banger already. Then Na'Vi versus Crew, another banger. Then Zeta from Japan versus Leviathan. So according to s0m, Leviathan are unbelievable, but Zeta were also very good last season as well. So man, I thought Group A was pretty good. Group B, I think, is next level in terms of some of these matchups we're going to have, especially the way it's been seeded, right? The fact that you've got Vitality, they should be a decent team. And then Global Esports, a team that we don't really know what to expect from. Like, Global Esports, in my opinion, will either just, like, they could get completely destroyed here, that's possible, or they could pull a massive upset, right? We don't really know where they're going to be. Hopefully they perform very well. But, you know, it's interesting, right? Because you get two teams, and even you've got FUT Esports and RRQ, two teams not expected to be that great. Neither Edward Gaming. Edward Gaming are good, but are they good enough to really put up a crazy fight against 100 Thieves that have been looking so good from NA? Not so sure. So you certainly have quite a few teams here that should be on the weaker ends, but then like the way the matchups are gone throughout the bracket is that a lot of those theoretically weaker teams play each other in the first couple of rounds, and then like by the time you get to the quarterfinals, many powerhouses have already been eliminated by some of the, I mean, like today is insane. Liquid Secret, Na'Vi Crew, Zeta, Leviathan, like there's 3 ridiculous games. So then tomorrow is Vitality Global Esports, FUT versus RRQ, and then 100 Thieves, Edward Gaming, and the final day with only 2 games, I guess just in case something gets delayed or pushed back if necessary, there is Sentinels, Fnatic, and T1 Furia to round out the first round of matches. So, I mean, man, the amount of talent here is absurd. The EMEA region is stacked from here. Okay, Vitality are good, but Fnatic, Na'Vi, Liquid are, in, well, Angel's opinion, I think I agree, certainly favourites. But how good can Leviathan be? Because, as I just mentioned, right, I think the Americas region kind of needs one of their teams to try and make it as well. Because if Americas can get 2 teams through to the kind of decider situation, they're in with a decent chance of giving themselves the extra qualification spot for Masters, which is very important. So either Leviathan, as Som said, could they win the entire tourney? He says he wouldn't be surprised if they did, which is pretty mad to think about, but they've got to beat Zeta and they've got to beat either Vitality or Global Esports, and then they've got to beat probably Na'Vi or Liquid to qualify, which is not impossible. And then on the lower side, you've got both 100 Thieves and Sentinels. 100 Thieves should be favoured to at least make it here to the semi-finals, then at which point they'll probably play either Fnatic or maybe Sentinels, still T1 Furia, definitely in with a shout as well. So tough to say right how this is going to go. Of course, Furia, the other Americas team that I didn't mention so far because they're right down here at the bottom, but man, a crazy couple of days to come. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.